dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Make it clear that the views expressed by our host are not simply the official stance of NDR views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying.
So welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. 'Cause these are my people.
Noelle here. In honor of our soldiers, our military personnel that are currently deployed right now, I wanted to take the time to personally thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all that you guys do, even the veterans. I also wanted you guys to see our team and what they had written to you guys personally. I wish you all nothing but love and respect.
Hey, welcome back to the Big Grizz Show, everybody. It's Red Friday. You guys remember everybody deployed. Wear red if you can. Today, we have a special guest that I was actually kind of nervous to even reach out to. We've talked personally. This is Smoke with the U.S. Military Vets MC. How you doing today?
Doing better than I deserve, my friend. How about yourself?
Oh, I woke up this morning.
I know that feeling all too well.
I mean, compared to where I've been, hey, I woke up this morning. I have a family, and I mean, couldn't ask for a better day.
Yeah, I hear that.
So, hey, when did you enlist?
Went into the Army in '96. It was a long time ago. It feels like it was a lifetime ago. I guess for some people it could be considered that. But yeah, it was '96 when I went in. It's a funny story actually. I went into the Army. I wasn't trying to get into the Army. I was trying to get into the Navy. Actually, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And I'll tell you just a quick backstory on it. I still remember being 5 years old. I'm almost 50 now, but I remember when I was 5 years old, I'm sitting on the couch with my Aunt Lucy. We're watching some TV show. I have no idea. I can't remember. It's back when I was living in the Bronx, New York, and I remember a commercial came on the TV, and all I saw was the ocean. And being from New York City, I knew what the ocean was, but I couldn't understand why the television was showing the ocean and nothing but the ocean. And then after a few seconds, I saw this gray thing start slowly going across the screen from the left to the right. And as it got further into the picture, I could see cannons and guns and all, radar systems and all kinds of stuff. I was 5 years old. I had no idea what any of that stuff was. So I asked my Aunt Lucy, "What is that?" And she said, that's the military. And I said, "What's the military?" And she said, "Well, that's the Navy, and they're a branch of the military, and they protect the country." And I said, "What's the Navy?" And she said, "It's a branch of the military." I still remember this conversation like it happened yesterday. And after the full battleship came into picture, I remember saying to her, I want to be Navy. And from that day, 5 years old until I was 19, I had tried to do everything I could to get myself prepared to be in the Navy. And I met guys who were active duty and and former SEALs, and I did training with some of these guys, and just to get me physically prepared for buds, and then I go down to the
Tried to do
police
buds?
office, and at age 19, and they say, no, you've got a criminal record, so you can't join the Navy. It's like, oh shit, I didn't know. Excuse my language. I don't know if I can say that on this line.
Hey, yeah, you can say whatever except for the F-bomb. That's the one thing.
I got you right on. And I said, well, damn, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do now. And the Navy recruiter said, why don't you go and talk to the Marine Corps recruiter? I said, what's the Marine Corps? I had no idea. And went and talked to them, and they said, you couldn't get into the Navy because of your criminal record. I was a bad kid. And they said, well, you can't join the Marines either. I said, okay. So I guess I had almost given up, and I thought, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with the rest of my life now. And at the time I was living in a house. I was sharing a house with 3 other guys about my age, and 4-bedroom place, and we're all splitting the rent. And one of my roommates, this guy Jody, of all names, all right, Jody, he comes out of his room one day, and I'm sitting in the dining room just thinking about what the hell I'm going to do next. And he comes out of his room with a rucksack, and he's wearing BDUs, and he's got TA-50, and he drops it on the dining room floor next to the front door. And I looked at him and said, Jody, what the hell is this? What are you doing? And he said, oh, I'm in the National Guard. I said, what's the National Guard? And he explained it. And he knew that I was trying to get in the military for years. And he said, why don't you go down and talk to the Guard recruiter and see if you can get in there. And if you can get in there, it's you go through the same basic training, same AIT as regular Army. The only difference is instead of going to your duty station, you go back home and you report to a unit, and you do the 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks out of summer thing.
Yeah.
I thought, what the hell? I've got nothing to lose. So I went and talked to the recruiter, and sure enough, he confirmed it. Yeah, if you do a good job here for a year, don't get in any trouble, and you still want to after a year, you can transfer over and go active duty. So that's what I did. I joined the Army National Guard. I did a year and 9 months. I worked with a recruiting station in Schenectady, New York. So it was pretty good duty. So I figured I'd stick it out for a little while, and I wound up transferring to active duty after a year and 9 months. So I left for Fort Campbell, Kentucky, with the 101st Airborne on September 28th of '98. And yeah, and that's where I spent the majority of my time active.
Man, there's stories that vets have on their enlistment, like mine. No joke. I had to get out of the state because I was in a bad spot, and people were looking for me to. But the one night, me and my buddy had decided to eat a bunch of mushrooms, and no shit, went and enlisted the next day while we were still freaking out.
That's awesome.
That's how I went into the Army.
That's awesome.
He went Marines at that time. Well, everybody's story, it's crazy.
They're all different, man, but they're all interesting, right? I love it.
Very interesting. I mean, you get some that, hey, I wanted to do this, and I went at 18, but there's backstories behind everything. It's
yeah,
awesome.
really. Yeah.
So how long were you active duty then?
I was in from 98 until 02. Got back from Kosovo in November of 2001. I was over there during the September 11th attacks. That was a whole shit show. And then got back and ETS'd. I wanted to stay in for the rest of my life, believe it or not. The reason I wanted to go into the military later in life, at first, it was because of that damn commercial. But
be all you can be.
That's it. Yeah, right. That's it. But later in life, I just I was a bad kid, man. So I've gotten a lot of trouble, and I was locked up. I was taken away from my family when I was 13, and I was put away for 5 years, and just bounced around from one facility to the next, and that kind of sucked. But I was a bad kid, and I knew that I wanted to get the hell away from that. I wanted to stay. I wanted to get out of that life, and I wanted to do something good for myself and for whatever future family I might have. And so it's been work, but I haven't given up. I'm still working on it. I haven't arrived. I mean, I'm doing okay, but I haven't arrived. if that makes any sense.
What do you mean you haven't arrived?
Well, I own an executive search firm. I specialize in the medical malpractice and professional liability insurance industry. So I recruit CEOs and presidents from one company, try to get them to sell their house, pack up the wife and kids, quit their job, move across country to take another job, and it pays really well. So I'm doing well. Life is good, but I haven't arrived.
Picture that job set with that. I'm more like construction, something like that.
Yeah, I know. It's just something that fell in my lap. I got very lucky. I've been a fortunate person. All my life I've been lucky. All 4 lives. I've died 3 times and been brought back to life. So I've been a lucky guy all 4 lives that I've had so far.
Yeah. We have a lot in common. Actually, it's funny. Like I was hit with 2 IEDs that I shouldn't have made it out of.
Yeah.
I got hit. I got shot in the shoulder that it was like it barely missed my heart. It was like a 1/4 inch. They won't even cut it out because of where it's at.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, just recently in 2021, I had 2 massive strokes from my TBI that the doctor told my mom to say her goodbyes to me because they didn't know if I was going to make it. Wow. And so there's those things. It's weird how it changes your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Total different outlook on everything.
Yeah. It's like the things that were important last week are no longer important today. And you find a new focus when things like that happen. And it's life altering.
Big time life altering. Yeah. So what did you do in the Army?
I was infantry. So I was with Delta Company, 2nd and 502nd. And I bounced around different units from between Fort Drum, New York, to Fort Dix, to over to Fort Campbell. And then I've done training all around the country. But it's all infantry. So it's typical infantry stuff. You work out in the field for 2 weeks, and then you come back to the rear for 2 weeks to get ready to go out in the field for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And it's that's just your life. It's like day in, day out. You train.
I did that too. I was a mechanic, and then I reclassed because I wasn't a mechanic in my first deployment. So I might as well do what what we were doing. I might as well get the right training. Yep. And just went from there. And I mean, I got out and I enlisted in 99 and I got out in 2011. Due to injuries that they wouldn't let me stay in. So it wasn't my fault because I would have did 20. I'd have been happily fully retired right now.
Yeah, right.
But no, that was not the case.
Yeah.
So you said you were in Kosovo, right?
Yeah, I was Macedonia, Kosovo, and then did some things over in Serbia, and then a lot of Eastern European countries. So it was it's a different time.
Yeah, so you weren't in the OIF or anything. You were out by that. Correct?
No, yeah. I had a first sergeant who I was an NCO, and he said, Sergeant, I hear you're going to ETS. This is before we deployed to Kosovo. He said, I hear you're going to ETS instead of staying in. And I said, well, I have an opportunity to make $100,000 a year working for Citigroup if I get out of the Army. And at the time, I was making about $900 a month in the Army, active duty. And he said, well, we're about to deploy to Kosovo. This is before the unit was notified. But he said, we're about to deploy to Kosovo. And you spent all these years training your guys in your platoon and teaching them how to react to contact and divert landmines and so on and so forth. He said, you're going to let them go over there without you and possibly not come home alive. Are you sure you want to do that? And that just got in my head. And
have to make that decision.
Yeah. So I went to sleep that night in the barracks, and I woke up the next morning and raised my right hand and extended to go over. And when we came back, we did a bunch of horse shit over there. And when we came back, the same first sergeant pulls me in his office again. Come here, sergeant. Let me talk to you. I hear you're going to ETS. I said, Roger that, first sergeant. Are you going to, we're going to go to war, and you're going to let your guys, first sergeant, you just told me that just a year ago, and you didn't even leave me in my platoon. You took me out of first platoon and put me in second platoon to go overseas with guys I didn't even know. And we all came home. Everybody came home. But at that point, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I could believe what the hell he was telling me. Much like most of us did back then. But so I didn't re-enlist. I got out and I went to work for Citigroup and started trying to be a professional. Started trying to find that arrival. Yeah,
trying to be a professional. That's awesome.
That's it. I still haven't arrived. I'm still working on it.
But you're still working forward to what you want to do, you know, the vision you've seen for yourself. You're still pushing. You're still trying toward that instead of recessing into old ways, I should say.
Yeah. Forgive me, my dog's bouncing around over here.
Mine ain't barking yet.
Yeah, here she goes now. Just because you said it, she could hear you. I've got a kid, you know, and not to throw stones at anybody for having kids and not thinking like me. Everybody's different. Everybody has different reasons for doing and saying the things that they do and say. And I don't knock anybody. I don't judge anybody. I've learned years ago, you can't judge people because then they can judge you. And I'm the last person that needs to be judged. But I've got a lot of responsibility. And I mean, I'm on top of having a family, a young kid, 8-year-old. He's autistic, and probably because of all the anthrax vaccines that I got, all the other crap they injected into me. But apart from that, I've got a club. I'm the president with the U.S. Military Vets MC, and I've got guys in my chapter and in parts of the state and parts of the country that look up to me, and I need to do the right thing for them as well. So I stay focused. I don't have time to think about the stressors or the traumatic experiences, getting shot at and shooting at people and all that shit. I don't have time to think about it because I'm constantly working on something. I'm constantly keeping my mind active, and I've got PTSD and all that stuff. I'm 100% for PTSD, but I keep trying to stay I'm focused on one thing, and not let the other stuff get to the forefront of my head. I just keep pushing it back. And maybe that's not what doctors want to hear, but but
that's what we need as soldiers. You got to face it head on and just push through it. But hey, you guys, we're with Smoke, the president of USMC Veterans MC. We got to take a quick break, and when we get back, if you can, would you feel if you can talk about it? I mean, whatever you can talk about. I know how MC goes. I have a lot of friends in them, especially out here.
Sure.
What it is,
sure.
What you guys help, what you guys do to help vets, and we'll get into that. And then I actually need to you see the private chat button? It should be the top right of your corner.
Yeah, I see it.
You're the Rally Point Garage. Do you have a webpage for that?
We don't have a Rally Point Garage website yet, but we've got a website for the U.S. Military Vets MC.
Do you mind if I bring that up and let people see that and let you talk about it?
Sure, not a problem at all.
Okay, can you put in that private chat that website, and I'll bring it up, and when we get back, I'll share my screen, and that way you can explain everything about it.
Sure.
Awesome. You guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play Matt Oakley's Soldier Son. This song, last week I had him on my show, and wait till you hear the song. It hit home to me in so many different levels, especially with my kids, because I'm the only military in my family, but my kids had to go through what this song is, and it's just an amazing song. You guys stick tuned. You're watching the Big Grizz Show with the president of the USMC, U.S. Military Vets MC president with us. You guys stay tuned. When we get back, we'll talk more about what that actual club is and what they do.
Well, he spent 22 years in the Army. We talked Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, and what I learned from him's worth more than anything anyone's bought me. That camo jacket with our last name, still in my closet to this day. There ain't enough money in the world you can give me to throw it away. 'Cause I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened. So fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one, defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for them mama as if she was your own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. Cassette tapes he mailed home, I'd rewind them all night long. 'Cause when I closed my eyes, I felt like he wasn't gone. And mama did the best she could, raising 3 kids while he stood on the front lines from dawn to dusk in a gun-smoked skyline. So fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one, defending the land of the free. We're in the home of the brave. And pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for them mama as if she was your own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son. So I hold on to pictures and memories in that shadow box with everything still in it. Whenever he talked, I listened. And he said to fly that flag in your front yard as high as you can, except for when we lose one, defending the land of the free. Boy, you're in the home of the brave. So to this day, I pour one out for the ones who never made it home. Say a prayer for their mama as if she was my own. I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. No, I can't wait to tell my boys about the wars we won. Yeah, I'm proud to be a soldier's son.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, welcome back to the Big Grizz Show. We have Smoke with U.S. Military Vets MC, and he's going to talk about what he can with this. And for you fellow vets that are watching, if this is something you're interested in, we'll be showing his webpage, his Facebook page, and I'm sure you guys can get on there and they might help you in further endeavors that you might wish to do, I would assume.
Oh.
So what is the Military Vets MC, and how did it get started?
Well, it's been around since 1987, so long before me. And it was a group of guys that came out of another MC that just didn't they didn't think that the other organization was working out for them. It was their duties and responsibilities, their objectives, they weren't falling in line with what they thought they wanted to be a part of anymore. So they left and started another club, the U.S. Military Vets Motorcycle Club. And we were founded in 87 in Fort Lauderdale. And ever since then, we've kind of taken the country by storm. We've grown exponentially over the years. I'll tell you, so our national website right now is being reconstructed. We're moving from one server to another. I think it was what it is, and so they're in process. But most of our chapters have a Facebook page. A lot of us have our own websites as well. Our chapter doesn't. We just use the Facebook for whatever, the civilian contact, so and so on. But what we do is we've got 3 objectives. The third objective is to improve the image of bikers and veterans to the general public, and we just try to let everybody know that we're an MC, and I'll tell you that right off the rip. We are a motorcycle club, and as a motorcycle club, there comes a certain set of duties and responsibilities that we have to live up to. There's a way of life. It's kind of an underworld, if so to speak. But that's the life we live. It's the life we chose. It's like being in the army. We're in the infantry. It's the life you chose.
Yeah.
And, not that we engage in criminal activities or anything like that. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. But we are not a veteran club. We're a motorcycle club. We just happen to have one of our criteria to being a member, being you have to be an honorably discharged veteran, served 181 days on active duty or more, or active duty military. So that's a little bit about our background. Our chapter, we've been around. This is our 11th year. We just celebrated our 11th annual charter party.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it's been. I didn't start the chapter, but I took over several years back as the chapter president for here in North Georgia, in this part of North Georgia, and sorry about that. She's starting to get rambunctious. I think people are coming home, but we just stay busy. I try to keep my guys focused on positive things. We ride our bikes, we drink beer, and we grab ass with our brothers, as my national president put it to me years back. That's what we do. We ride our bikes, drink beer, grab ass with our brothers. We just hang out. And one of the things that we do, every chapter governs itself. So we all fall under a specific set of rules. We have bylaws like any other MC. So we all have a specific set of rules that we have to follow. But every chapter governs itself. So every chapter can focus on whatever they want to focus on. Ours has big things, happens to be the Veterans Rally Point, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little while. Yep. But we try hard to help veterans, and particularly vets with PTSD. All of my guys in my chapter, we've all got PTSD. And I'd say better than 90% of the guys in the club nationwide, we've got PTSD.
Yeah, I don't know anybody in the military that's been overseas that can honestly, truly say that they don't think they have any sort of PTSD.
Yeah, we've all got issues. Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah, and it's funny when you talk about people having PTSD. It's like I think a lot of civilians think that we all a certain way when we have PTSD. We all do one specific thing when we have PTSD. We've all seen one specific issue or been through one specific example. And that's not the case at all. I mean, some of the guys like I said, I've been shot at. I've shot at people, and that doesn't bother me. Like I said, I grew up in the Bronx, so I grew up around stuff like that back in the 70s and 80s. So that wasn't a traumatic thing for me. Seeing my guys die, that was a bigger thing.
That's hard. Yeah. No, me is holding the worst thing ever for me is I was back to back with a really, really, really good friend of mine, and we were getting ambushed, and we were legit back to back, and all of a sudden he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't see what happened. I turned around and he had ended up getting shot in the chest. That is one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with, and I still deal with it. I'm more open about it now. Yeah. Like my mom actually knew who the person was, and so I'm more open with it now. But I don't bring certain circumstances into it, but I'm more open to talk about it because I've processed it for the most part.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Like getting shot at, all that was. I don't even know how that could be traumatic to anybody. That's more of one of those things. It's life or death.
Yeah. I think we got shit we got to do when we're overseas, and and it's life or death. If you either do the shit you're supposed to do, or somebody's gonna die, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing being in an MC. You got stuff that you got to do, or somebody's going to die, and it could be things as small as motorcycle checks before long distance rides. You know, I've got a sergeant at arms, my brother Grunt. I love him dearly. He's been overseas, Afghanistan, also infantry. You know, he's gone through so much. The guy, he's been through a lot. And I bring him close and let him know that he's not alone, just like we do with other non-motorcycle riding vets, right? But I'll have him do things like motorcycle checks, like PMC has the bikes before we go on long distance ride.
So for those of you that don't know, that's preventive maintenance checks.
That's right, and I'll have him do that to bikes before we leave, and he's checking everything, like making sure turn signals work, brake lights work, you know, checking tire tread, checking tire pressures, you know, all oil. I'm drawing a blank, but forgive me, my head doesn't work like it used to. But checking dipsticks and oil tanks and things like that. And it's just I have him do a bunch of stuff, right? And I've got a secretary, another guy that I have do another group of things to keep his mind off stuff. He's Afghanistan, Iraq, multiple tours in each. And I got another brother, my vice president, who's been to Korea and overseas other places. And his head is, I mean, all of us, we've all got, and that's just the, you know, this is just the 4 officers, right? And we've got another round of guys in the chapter that we've all got something that haunts us. We've all got PTSD. And so our chapter, we focus primarily the majority of our time. If we're not out riding with our brothers and drinking beer and grabbing ass with our brothers, we're helping vets, guys with PTSD, and raising money for them, or making sure that veterans with PTSD know about other organizations that provide mental health services, or trying to get guys aligned with the VA to get them VA benefits, medical benefits, or trying to get them aligned with the VBA, the Veterans Business Administration, to get them aligned with their claims and get that process started for them. So we try to do everything we can to help vets, primarily with PTSD. Another group of vets that we help is a group of homeless vets, and these guys in the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, there are a population of just about 10 million. It's a little over 10 million. And about 1% of the population is homeless vets, believe it or not. And it's insane. 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about 10.8 million, that's a big number.
Yeah,
that's a big number.
That's 180,000.
I mean, we've got and events that we hold that our chapters do it across the country. We've got events that we hold called homeless vets encampments. And what we do is here in Georgia, we've got 2 locations. We've got a Statesboro chapter and we've got a Valdosta chapter. And what we do is we get about 60 or 80 of us on bikes, and we have a van or a truck in tow, and we ride out into these towns and out to the middle of friggin' nowhere. And we get out and deep into the woods, and we drop kickstands, we pitch tents, build fires, we eat beans out of the can like the homeless do. We roast hot dogs over the fire like the homeless do, and we just sit there and hang out, and we watch throughout the day and night as literally hundreds of homeless veterans come out of the woods to hang out with us. And these are guys, and I think I was telling you before, the way I try to explain this to civilians is that these are guys that their bodies are here, but their minds are still somewhere else.
Yes.
And they can't assimilate into civilian population again. And so we hang out with them for the day and night, and we just let them know that we haven't forgotten about them. There's some organizations, some government entities that may have, but we're veterans, man. And better than 90% of us have been deployed, and we've got shit in our heads too. So we get it, and we haven't forgotten. So we're here to help them. And we just hang out with them for the day and night. And then we go to sleep and wake up the next morning, and we unload that van or truck. And We give them supplies. We give them backpacks. We give them boots, socks, underwear, toothbrush, toothpaste, jackets, blankets, towels, cleaning supplies, feminine products. Believe it or not, there's a high concentration of female vets that are homeless all across the country. And sadly enough, some of them have children that live with them out there in the woods. And so it's a terrible thing. And so we just do what we can to help these guys, and girls. And that's where we put the majority of our energy, is helping homeless vets, veterans with PTSD, and helping each other, helping our brothers out, and being with each other. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't have any friends. I haven't had friends in it's been years. It's been decades since I've had friends.
You got brothers. There's a difference.
I got brothers, man. And these guys, they would do anything for me, and I would do anything for them.
Yeah. And like me, I have a very small group of people, and I consider every single one of them family.
That's right.
I have acquaintances. I ain't going to say they're friends, but
that's right. Nope.
If I talk to you and I pour myself out to you, you're family to me. That will never change. Yep. And I got a few of them. I actually, a lot of guys I was deployed with are in the CVMA and that different things. And I still talk to them. And actually, they're getting ready to help me with what I talked to you about earlier, which I'm not going to bring up yet, because this will be the first time I bring it up on the show, what I'm actually doing. But they're actually going to help me to an extent on like volunteers and stuff for.
Right on.
Huh?
Right on.
So, hey, we're going to take another quick break. That's the one bad thing about this. About every 15 minutes, I got to pop a quick break off. This is one other song that I really love. And it's Ryan Spencer, Make 22-0 again. And I mean, you probably would like this one too.
Cool.
But you guys, you're listening to the Big Grizz Show. We're on here with Smoke, and we'll be back. And we're going to actually start talking about I don't know if it's a foundation or what it is, but it's Rally Point Garage and what he does with them to help vets. And then I got a big surprise for everybody listening to my show, because it'll be the first time I'm bringing it up. That will be happening this year. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in about 4 minutes.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time, he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, all he wants is peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, welcome back to the Big Grizz Show with my special guest Smoke with the U.S. Military Vets MC. This is what you got going on, I'm assuming, for this year?
Yeah. This is our Veterans Rally Point. It's our annual fundraiser for homeless vets and vets with PTSD. And this year it's scheduled for October 19th. Yeah.
Okay, so can you explain what all of it is that you guys got that you'll be doing?
Sure. Yeah. So every year we try to stick to the same theme, try to stick to the same schedule, and this way we're not reinventing the wheel every time, but you know, everything's Murphy, right? If at any time
Murphy, don't change nothing.
And it always does. Something always does.
If it works, it works. Don't fix it.
That's right. That's right. It wouldn't be work unless Murphy stuck his head in, right? So we have vendors, and we got different things for kids and stuff. Some of the big things. So we've got National Guards coming in, the Georgia National Guard. They're going to set up a recruiting tent, and every year we try to get at least one or two branches of the military to come and set up a recruiting tent to get them exposure. Another thing we do is we've got military vehicles that we have brought in every year. This year we've got 5 Humvees. We've got a couple of World War II cannons. We've got a couple of artillery pieces. Last year we had a Huey helicopter. This year I'm working on, don't hold me to this, but I'm working on getting a Black Hawk in there to give people rides, just short, like 5-10 minute rides around the city area.
That's amazing.
It's most people, most civilians, right? They've never even seen a Black Hawk, let alone have an opportunity to ride.
You see them flying over you.
If they're lucky, right? Some of them see it on TV, but to have an opportunity to ride one, I think that'd be pretty cool. So I'm working on that right now. I should have that hammered out in the next week or two. But we've got a ton of vendors. We've got about 50 different vendors. We've got food. We've got barbecue. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got popcorn, cotton candy, funnel cakes, soft drinks for the kids. We've got games and prizes for the kids. We've got football toss. We've got like a bounce house thing with a basketball challenge and a soccer kick. We've got, I know we're an MC, and everybody asks me, so you're an MC, why aren't you doing a bike show? Well, we've done them in the past, and for whatever reason, I don't know, I don't get it. People come into a bike show that's hosted by an MC, they don't really, they don't really come out to it. But I think they think MC is a bad thing for some reason.
Well, they think MC Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Right. They think that we're what they see on TV. It's too funny. But you're right. So this year I'm doing something different. I'm actually doing a car show, and it's not your typical car show. I've got about 750 cars, owners of these vehicles that want to put their cars in this car show. We've only got 50 spaces, and so we've got to limit it. We've got to really whittle this thing down to the top 50 cars. And I've got a guy who's doing that for me. He's actually one of the sponsors at Lakeside Ammunition here in Cumming, Georgia, and he's going through and whittling down for me that list of cars, but it's all luxury supercars. So these aren't cars that you would normally see driving down the road, like
So
ever.
you're talking like a McLaren or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. We've got Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLaren, F1 McLarens. We've got Maseratis, Maybachs. We've got Porsches just cars like concept vehicles, cars that you just would never see driving down the road. And I think the least expensive car is $400,000.
I was gonna say super expensive car.
Yeah. The McLarens. I think there's one that's like 1.2 million. Is one of the first one. I think there's a second one that's supposed to be there. It's 22.5 million. So
wow.
It's a high dollar.
Yeah, that's why you don't see him driving down the road.
Exactly. But we're gonna have 50 of the top luxury supercars in the Southeast there at the Veterans Rally Point, doing the fundraiser with us. So that should be cool. And a lot of these guys, they're vets, believe it or not. And a lot of them have told me, yeah, you know what? We'll let the kids sit in the car, let them turn it on, start the engine, and step on the gas pedal so they can hear the exhaust. It's like, man, these guys are cool, right? But they're like us. They are us. They just happen to get lucky, kind of like me, right? You get lucky.
It's funny how everybody has this image about veterans, but in my opinion, 90% of the vets I know are so much more family oriented with things than families are.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I agree with you 100%. Believe it or not, that's why I am so close with my brothers. I don't. Not only do I not have friends, I talk to my family, I don't know, once a year up in New York. I've seen my mother. I don't know. I talk to her once every 10 years, maybe. These guys are more family to me than my own blood. And you're right. We're all cut from the same cloth, brother. You know?
Yeah. Oh, big time. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can do the military, and not everybody can do the MOSs that, 11 Bravo, fisters, engineers, tankers. Not everybody can do those jobs. So we're definitely a different breed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're cut from a different cloth, but all of us are from the same cloth. And I think that's what attracts us to each other so much, which is what attracted me to the U.S. Military Vets MC. And I can still, and I'll come back to the Veterans Rally Point here and tell you more about it. But let me divert here for a second and tell you the first day I met the guys in the club. I was at a bar. I was on the bike. I was riding around, stopped at a bar, drinking and having a couple of beers, and the place is packed with a bunch of bikers. And I've known the bar for years. I've seen it a million times, but I never rode my bike there for whatever reason. I don't know. I just didn't think I needed to be a part of a civilian group, and so I would ride my bike by myself for years. And one day I just happened to stop in, and I'm having a beer, and I wound up getting into a conversation with somebody sitting next to me who was a veteran, and they're telling me about the bar and how cool it is, and they do bike nights and other MCs and so on and so forth. And I had no interest whatsoever in doing the MC thing. And I had this beer, get my second beer, and I turn around and look at the front door for whatever reason, and I start seeing all these different MCs coming in over the course of about the next half hour or so. There's probably 10 different clubs in there, and they all kind of carried themselves the same way, and they got treated the same way. and there was, there's one percenters and there was support and affiliate clubs, and there's all and clubs that were not affiliated at all, other veteran clubs, and so on and so forth. And for whatever reason, I couldn't see myself engaging in conversation or having a conversation with any of them, or having any interest in joining any of those clubs. And then I remember the door opened up, and I heard everybody starts like getting quiet, and the music's still loud, but the talking started to quiet down. So I look at the front door again, and I see these two guys walk through the door, and both of these guys, I still love them to this day. But I see them walking through the door, and people are just flocking to them. I mean, just coming from all sides of the bar, all over the freaking place, to come up and talk to these two guys. And they just made it through the front door. They haven't even took the first 10 steps in the bar yet. Wow. And it took them about 15 minutes to get from the front door to the pool tables in the back. The stage was off here to the left, and pool tables were in the room behind the stage. And it took them about 15 minutes to get from the front door to the pool tables, because people just kept stopping them, trying to talk to them, hugging them, telling them thank you, and so on and so forth. And as they got past me, I saw the back, and I saw U.S. military vets MC, and I thought, oh shit! If I'm going to join any club, if I'm going to be a part of any MC, it's going to be I'm going to be a part of the U.S. military vets motorcycle club. That's who I want to be a part of. And that's how I came across the club. But to come back to the Veterans Rally Point, and I'm sorry to digress.
You're good.
But to come back to the VRP, so this is our 7th annual Veterans Rally Point. It's on October 19th, and we've got all kinds of stuff aside from the car show and the helicopters and military vehicles and games and all that stuff. We've got music and food, and every year it starts with the prayer, Pledge of Allegiance, the color guard, and the guest speaker. And the guest speaker gets done around 12:30. So we start at noon, and once the guest speaker's wrapped up, the event actually kicks off, and it goes from noon to 1700, so to 5 p.m. And the day is just about raising money and raising awareness for veterans causes, particularly homeless vets and veterans with PTSD. Forgive me, my kid just walked through the door.
Hey, you're good. But see, this is why I like doing live shows. We could have did a pre-recorded show and I could have posted it, but I like this.
Yeah,
it's more real.
That's right. That's right.
Put together mistakes, you see it at all.
That's right.
I love that.
That's right.
So I got a question for you. Do you think the military veteran, the MC, has helped you with what you've had to deal with from your military time?
Yeah. With in no uncertain terms, hell yes. I've got guys that I served with that have committed suicide after we ETS'd. Yeah. I've got guys in my club, guys in my chapter that have contemplated suicide, up to and including to the point where they've had 9mm in their laps with one round in the chamber, and they've thought about taking that final breath, and for me myself, it's changed who I am. I used to spend, before I found the club, I used to spend 78 hours a week on average, working. And it was because I was I didn't realize that I had PTSD. But I knew that I had things that came up in my head that would bother me if I wasn't busy thinking about something else, if I wasn't focused on something. And I had a lot of issues for a long time. And when I started to have a family, my son and my old lady, a lot of that work time started to dwindle. I didn't want to do it as much. I wanted to be with my son. My kid was brand new baby, and my old lady's awesome. Lane, she's just a phenomenal human being. She's the perfect old lady, right? But she's just an amazing human. And I wanted to spend more time with them. So I worked a lot less. And as I worked less, I found that there was something in the back of my head that just kept coming up. And it was something that I hadn't thought of in a while because I spent so much of my time working on my business. I'm self-employed. And I started having problems again. And then I found the club. And the next thing I know, it's like, man, I don't think about that stuff anymore. And it's not that I'm trying to push it into the back of my mind or into the abyss, the recesses of my being. I'm not trying to do that anymore. I don't have time to think about it anymore because I'm thinking about my family, my business, and my brothers, right? Yeah. I'm thinking about turning wrenches on bikes and twisting my wrists and going 100 miles an hour and being safe, honey. I'm being safe, but I'm thinking, she's in the kitchen right here. Give me the look, but yeah, it's it recentered me. It corrected me again, and and just like it's done for so many of my brothers. Like I said, I got guys in the chapter that have contemplated taking that last breath, and then they found the club, and now it's like, and I'm not going to say it's all peaches and cream because it's not. We still have, like I said, we got bylaws, we got things that we have to do. We're an MC, we got to do MC shit, but we're together, and none of us have to go through it alone anymore.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, and it's just it's made a big difference for all of us.
So mine crutch that helped me, I guess, is fishing. I dive into being outdoors, and I can recenter myself. I was just curious if it had that same type of effect with you, and obviously it does. That you at least you were able to find that something that can take your focus off of dreams and all that crap that we got to deal with. And then plus you got your brotherhood. It's there. And I'm guessing it's probably stronger than it was in the military.
Man, we've been through some shit, man, to say the least. But I trust these guys emphatically, man. Look, I'll give you one example of how close we are, of why they are my brothers. I'll give you one example, and I can sit here for the next 3 hours, 4 hours, giving you example after example, but I'll be brief on this one. I know we're running short on time here, but I've been in multiple motorcycle accidents. The most dangerous part about being in a motorcycle club is the motorcycle, believe it or not. But I've been in multiple accidents, and the first accident I was in was July 4th, 2020. And I'm up in North Georgia. Believe it or not, I'm heading to the clubhouse. I spent the entire day at home. I'm slow grilling ribs with my son, and I'm drinking mojitos at the house. And me and my old lady are drinking and grilling and playing with the kid. And it was a beautiful day. And it was probably, 10 o'clock that night. I decided to be stupid and ride drunk. And I got on the bike and I started heading towards the clubhouse because I knew there was a party at the clubhouse up North Georgia. And it was only about an hour from my house, and hour's nothing. I mean, it's hours like a 10-minute car drive for most civilians. I enjoy that. We all do. We enjoy that hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long ride. But so I'm heading up in the mountains, heading up to the clubhouse, and I hit a patch of fog, and I'm on these mountain roads, and there's a lot of S turns and hairpin turns, and I hit this patch of fog. It was pretty dense. It was so dense I couldn't see the instrument panel on my bike.
Oh wow!
And excuse me. So I throttled forward so I could try to slow down because I didn't know. I wasn't drunk, but I wasn't totally sober either. Right? I was kind of, I guess, buzzed riding. I guess they say buzzed riding is the new drunk driving now. So I guess that there may be something behind that. But I throttled forward and pulled in on the clutch, and I started to feather the back brake, and I felt my handlebars jerk to the left. And what happened was I was in the right lane, and it's just 2-lane road, of course. And I come up on a hairpin turn that I didn't see because of the fog. And my front tire got caught in one of those rivets. I don't know if they do the same thing out on the West Coast, but over here, they in the mountains in particular, they've been doing those.
We call it rail driving.
Yeah,
we call it rail driving.
Yeah, there you go. yeah. Well, the counties and cities have been putting these rumble strips on the yellow stripes now, and my front tire got caught in one of those, and it jerked my handlebars to the left, and I knew what happened. I couldn't see it, but I could tell what happened. It was obvious. And so I knew I was in oncoming traffic lane. I knew I couldn't see the lights on my instrument panel, not very clearly anyway. So it was probably going to be hard for me to see a car coming in the opposite lane from the opposite direction. Probably be hard to see their headlights in this thick fog, especially coming around a corner. So I thought I better course correct and get back in the right lane. So I jamped it to the right, and I just in time to slam into the guardrail, and I with my left side, and I broke my left leg, and at the ankle, I almost shattered the entire ankle, and there was gravel at the base of the road guard, and for about the next 50 meters or so, I don't know if you remember, but gravel and 2 wheels, they don't work very well together.
No, not at all. That doesn't sound very fun.
No, it's like riding on ice. You can't steer, you can't slow down, you can't speed up, you can't do anything. You're lost. So I couldn't do anything. So I spent about the next 50 meters just bumping up against this guardrail, just doing more damage to my left leg. And then I hit that next hairpin turn. And this one was a hard hairpin. And I hit that when I went over the handlebars when I'm going 30 feet down the side of a mountain. And I dislocated both my legs. I dislocated my spine, shattered my pelvis, broke my sacrum, pushed my left hip through my back. I ripped all the flesh from my knee all the way down and the knee all the way up on the left leg. And I spent 17 days in the ICU. I did 13 in the trauma ward. And then I lived in a rehabilitation facility for the next month and a half where they taught me how to live without the use of my legs. And I kept telling the surgeon, you don't understand, I'm going to walk again. And every morning he would come in the room and do the pen test and poke me in the foot and run it up my leg and poking. And, you feel this? You feel this? No. Well, I'm sorry, we can't promise that we're ever going to be able to walk. No, you don't understand, Doc. I'm going to walk again. No, you don't. Well, we really appreciate that positive attitude. No, you don't understand. I'm going to effing walk again is what I said to him. And 2 months later, he's doing it again. Can you wiggle your toe? And my big toe finally moved after 2.5 months. And he looks at me and I said, see, I told you I was going to walk again. And it was less than 6 months after the accident. It's 3 days shy of 6 months. I was back on 2 wheels. And but when I got out of the rehab facility, I was in a wheelchair. I was wheelchair bound for the next 4 months. And I got a 2-story house, bedroom upstairs and everything. And there's no way my old lady could carry me up the stairs, But so my VP, my brother Battle, he says they all come to the hospital to pick me up, and there's a bunch of brothers leading the ride, and I'm in the truck with one of my other brothers, Angel, and they came up, the guys from South Carolina, guys from North Carolina, guys from all over Georgia, to pick me up on my last day at the rehab facility and take me home. And so they led on bikes, and we were in the back of the truck. And I remember telling Angel, I said, brother, the guys just took a wrong turn. They turned right. And he said, oh, I'll call him. I'll call him right now. I called, and nobody answered. I was on the drugs from the hospital, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. But we get up to the top of this mountain, and I knew where I was. I was at my VP's house. And the bikes go up this long driveway first. They park, the truck goes up, and we park. And as I'm opening up the door, my VP's standing there at the door at the side of the truck with a wheelchair. And I'm trying to say, brother, I can't do this to you, because I know what he's doing. He's trying to get me to stay at his house. I'm trying to get the words out of my mouth, brother, I can't do this to you. And I got the words, brother, I can't. He said, don't want to hear it, boss. The chapter voted you're staying at my house. I'm like, shit. So he helps me out of the truck, puts me in a wheelchair, and we start wheeling through the house. And we passed by this bedroom, passed by that bedroom, and the next bedroom, and the next. He's got a big, 5,000 square foot place, and every room we passed by, I'm thinking, all right, they're gonna put me here. It's cool. All right, they're gonna put me there. It's cool. And we passed by all these rooms on one side of the house, and we start going to the other side with a master, and then there's another bedroom for like a nursery. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, this is awesome. They're gonna put me right next to their bedroom, so that in case I'm hurt or anything, or in case I wake up in pain or something, they can help me out. And I'm thinking, we're going down the hall, and I'm thinking, all right, we're gonna turn right into the guest bedroom. They don't have any babies anymore; they're grown, but so I'm thinking they're going to turn me in the guest bed, put me in the guest bedroom. He turns left to go into the master bedroom. I put my hands up on the door jamb to stop the wheelchair from going any further. And I'm trying to say the words, brother, I can't do this to you. I get the words out, brother, I can't. He said, don't want to hear it, boss. Chapter voted, you're staying in the master bedroom until you heal. And I thought, holy shit, man. And I stayed in his house, in his master bedroom with him and his family nursing me back to life for the next 2.5 months.
Wow, that's truly amazing.
That's my brother.
Yeah, that's a brotherhood. That's amazing. Hey, Smoke, I want to take a quick minute, and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day, coming up here and explaining everything that the U.S. military vets are. This is a great thing. Hopefully, vets listening will reach out to you. Maybe it's something that they enjoy doing and want to know more about you guys. That would be truly amazing. Right. On that note, you guys, my big news, and I've talked to Smoke, and there's a fundraiser stuff that I'll be doing, and I've been talking to him off and on to get some help with fundraising. But here in Washington State, there is what we call the Old Soldiers Home. And it's basically hospice for older vets. I am putting on a catered Christmas concert for these vets, these World War II and these Vietnam vets, that it might be their last Christmas. I'm having Scotty Fraser. You guys know who he is. He's been on my show. I'm flying him up here. He's going to put a whole Christmas concert on for him. And he's a retired Marine. All his whole Christmas album is what he wrote during his time being deployed during Christmas times, and his feelings and emotions and all that. So he will be here for this event to do a concert for these guys. Plus there's a tiny home village right there too. And we're going to be doing a concert and a breakfast for them as well, since they're two separate entities. And hopefully, fingers crossed, with all the fundraising and everything I'm trying to do, that we can get enough that we can give the kids in these tiny homes a Christmas, and we can give these vets stuff that they want, not that they need. And obviously we'll get them what they need, funds allowed if we have that, but we want to make it a memorable, more likely last Christmas for them. So you guys stay tuned on that one, because I will be having a flyer hopefully by the end of next week. Go ahead, Smoke.
I just wanted to say that in an effort to help you with that, we've got a Washington chapter, our Washington State president, Slow. I'm going to get you in touch with him, and we're going to try to work this out with you to help you get more people there. Cool?
Really?
Yep.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yep. And his road name's Slow?
Yeah. You'll have to ask him why.
I'm going to plug my head.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him why. But yeah, his road name's Slow. But he's a state president, so just know he knows what he's doing. He's on it.
That's amazing. And honestly, I mean, the lady I'm working with, he's probably been on the poker rides here in Washington for the Old Soldiers Home.
No kidding, yeah.
That has been put on. They started with 22 bikes 11 years ago, and now they're over 300 bikes.
How about that? Yeah, right on. Yeah.
And all the proceeds and everything goes to the vets at the Old Soldiers Home. It doesn't go to VA.
Right on. Right on. That means it's going to go to good use.
It is. It's going to go. Everything's going to go to help me get Scotty here, to help me pay for the catered event. Yep. And then we'll be putting on a silent auction as long as the Old Soldiers Home approves of it.
Yeah.
And all the proceeds, like I said, we'll make sure they all have socks and underwear, stuff they need.
Awesome.
But then we want to give them stuff they want, whether it's putting it on a MasterCard, a gift card or something that they can order it. Yep. So that's my big news, and awesome. It is stressful as crap.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yep.
It is hard. But thank you. And if you want to plug the U.S. military vets, please do. And I'll close out with our closer after this.
Cool. Yes, we got the U.S. Military Vets MC. We're a nationwide nonprofit organization, and you can check us out on Facebook. I think I included the link for our chapter page on here. And if you check us out here, if you send us a private message, and you have interest, just let me know what state you're with, and I'll get you in touch with somebody from that state. I can tell you that we're on almost all lower 48 states, and arguably the largest motorcycle club in the country, and growing fast.
I did not think it was that big, and now thinking about it, seeing the eagle in your guys' patch, I've seen that patch out here.
Yeah, we're all over the place, brother.
So I will put all the links in the bios when I turn around and post this, because obviously we're live right now. But I will save all the links, and I'll put the links in there for anybody to get a hold of them that wants to either help with his rally point thing that he's doing, the event that he's doing for the military families, that, or just to help vets. This is another, in my opinion, a foundation. Even though it's an MC, you guys are one hell of a huge foundation that does the same thing that I want to do, that I've been trying to do. So thank you so much, Smoke. I appreciate you taking the time out of here, and I really don't know how to thank you enough about getting me in touch with the president out here for that.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, man. You guys, you do a lot of good work here too. I've been looking up on you, and it's you do some cool stuff, man. It's awesome. I'm really happy for you, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Thank you, and you as well. Yeah, you really kind of blew my mind on that one. So
cool.
But you guys have a great weekend. Remember, it's Friday. You guys remember, everybody deployed. I got my son's baseball game coming up I got to go to, but I will see you guys next week, same time, same day. And not 100% sure who's going to be on the show. I got to go back and look through my emails, because it's great having a TBI. But you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving